Has India begun to shift its stance on the South China Sea issue? From a cautious observant to an active participant, the winds of change seem to be blowing in the realm of India's foreign policy. In the past, India maintained a careful silence on China's claims in the South China Sea. But recent developments suggest an end to this approach, as India starts to weigh in on the South China Sea issue, potentially against China's interests. India and China share a tense relationship punctuated by frequent border disputes. The latest standoff in 2020 saw the two nations' armed forces face off in the Himalayas, with both countries fortifying their presence in the mountainous terrain. Fast forward to March of 2024, when India's Foreign Affairs Minister, Mr. Jaishankar, visited Manila. The backdrop of this visit was the escalating tension between the Philippines and China in the South China Sea. Ahead of his arrival, Mr. Jaishankar made India's position clear. It seeks a rules-based order in the South China Sea. This raises questions about whether India is attempting to tilt the strategic balance in the region away from China. During Minister Jaishankar's visit, an Indian Coast Guard ship arrived in Manila. The two countries announced that they would hold more joint naval drills. Furthermore, India took a controversial step by deciding to sell BrahMos supersonic cruise missiles to the Philippines, a move it had abstained from previously to avoid upsetting China. India has also entered into agreements with Vietnam to provide military support. Like the Philippines, Vietnam has territorial disputes with China in the South China Sea and the Gulf of Tonkin. These moves suggest that India is not just observing the disputes in the region, but actively participating in them. However, India's naval focus is twofold: promoting free access to the South China Sea to bolster its economic growth, and maintaining its position as the preeminent naval power in the Indian Ocean. Balancing these two objectives can be challenging, especially as China continues to establish a naval presence in the Indian Ocean through port agreements with Myanmar and Pakistan. India is known for its cautious approach to foreign entanglements. It is aware that it cannot currently defeat China and needs time to grow its economy to become a peer threat. By supporting West-aligned nations in establishing freedom of navigation and backing Western efforts to decouple from China, India can promote its long-term economic growth. At the same time, India is not one to be cowed by China. It's willing to mirror Chinese aggression, as seen in the Himalayas, and continue to work with China in achieving the goals of BRICS, as it serves India's long-term economic expansion, even if it comes at China's expense. In summary, while India is unlikely to adopt an outright aggressive stance in the South China Sea, it is willing to subtly influence the situation, hoping to prompt a change in China's tactics. The future of India's foreign policy, it seems, is not just about observation, but active participation.